Welcome to the Liberace Mansion.
Welcome to Under the Vegas Sun, looking at the people, the events, and the news surrounding Las Vegas and the entire Vegas Valley. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. We are live from the Liberace Mansion. Probably sometime in your lifetime, you thought about the idea of being a star, maybe a singer, maybe a dancer, maybe somebody on Broadway, maybe even playing piano. Some of us, most of us, never made it. What happens when you do? Does it change your life? And what happens if that change does not go the way you expected? Today on our program, a very, very special guest. One of those people who made that dream come true. She became a star. And then out of the clear blue sky, stopped. And now started all over again. Her name, Pia Zadora, an amazing young actress, singer, and Broadway star. When we come back, you'll meet this tremendous lady. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hello, this is Keith Evans at the Lion Habitat Ranch. We'd like you to come out and visit our ranch. There's 38 lions, a giraffe that paints, ostriches, emus, and birds. We do school tours, general admission, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and behind-the-scenes tours every day of the week. Besides coming in as general admission, you can also pay extra to help our animals, and you can feed the giraffe. You can feed one of the lions, or you can have Ozzy paint a custom canvas for you. You can also buy Ozzy paintings in the gift shop. While we do our demonstrations at 12 and 2 of Ozzy painting, all those canvases are available for purchase. In addition to everything you can do here in person, you can find us on the website, lionhabitatranch.org, where you can make your reservations online or buy your paintings online. Thank you very much. Please come.
Hey, it's Mark Chinook from Monday's Dark, and you are watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Shore.
Singer, actress, Broadway star, film star, comedian. Roll it all together, there's a lot of people maybe that would think that they would be that person. Today on our program, we have somebody who is actually that person. Her name, Pia Zadora. We're honored to have her. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Steve. You know, when you say all those things that I am, it reminded me of what a diverse career I've had. I mean, I've been all over the place.
Yeah, you know, that's true.
In a weird way.
In a weird way. In a weird way you have.
Hopping from Frank Sinatra to pop records, to movies, to Santa Claus Conquers the Martian.
Jermaine Jackson.
I know.
Listen, so
no wonder I'm a little
so let me go back
you
to
complete me.
Let me go back to Hoboken, New Jersey.
Okay, well, send me a postcard.
Okay. Place you were born. You came to your profession legitimately. Your dad, violinist. Your mom was an amazing supervisor of wardrobe on Broadway. How did it come to Pia? How did that get to you?
Well, the direct story is that when I was a little girl, I had a heart condition, and I was very sheltered, and I was an only child because my mom had Rh negative and couldn't have another baby at that time. And so I was very close, and then when I went to parochial school, when I was in first grade, I was like, oh my God, I'm scared. What are these women? They look like penguins, and they're slapping us on the wrists, and other people my size? I'm like, I didn't know there were other kids. The whole world kind of overwhelmed me, and I went into a shell. And the nuns felt that I was socially retarded and sent me to a dramatic school to bring me out of my shell when American Academy of Dramatic Arts when I was 6 or 7. and Burgess Meredith was looking for a little girl to co-star in a play with Tallulah Bankhead on Broadway, and came and plucked me out of the school, and I auditioned. Next thing you know, I was touring at 7.
With Tallulah Bankhead.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of stories that go around about Tallulah Bankhead. One of the stories that went around, and I remember the story back when I was young, was that she was not a teetotaler. She liked drinking a lot. What was it like touring with Tallulah at that point? You were a child. You were young.
Tallulah took no prisoners. Let's put it that way. And she did have a wild lifestyle.
Oh, yes.
And she took me under her wing because I was the little girl co-starring in the show. And she played the part of a glamorous woman and doubled as a babysitter. And she would babysit for me and teach me how to smoke cigarettes and, drink and all that at 7 years.
How old?
On stage, but
at
with
7
that
years
powder
old.
puff stuff that you have. But, that's what she taught. But the most important thing she taught me that I learned from her is that you need to really be yourself and not listen. I don't mean not listen to anybody, or maybe I do, I don't know. But just to do what you feel is right and not to be intimidated by other people, because she was not intimidated. And I learned that from her.
You became this amazing woman that grew out of that experience and put yourself in a
lot of years of therapy, a lot of years of therapy.
A lot of years of experience.
Both,
a lot of years of acting, performing is really trial and error. You try something, doesn't work, you try something else, doesn't work, try something, it does work.
That's life, right?
It is, it is. And for you, I would gather, from your background, that it was a lot of that trial and error that came to Pia Zadora before she became a Golden Globe star, before she became somebody who was known in Hollywood, somebody who got married at a very young age. It was all trial and error.
I know, I was. And it was just too all over the place, but I guess you're right, that's how you learn. That's how you learn who you are and what you were meant to do. And it was the experience. I was also nominated for a Grammy. Ended up losing it to Tina Turner. I mean, I just...
You were nominated for a Grammy because you did a duet with Jermaine Jackson, correct?
Well, no, it was for another song.
Really?
Yeah, Rock It Out.
Rock It Out.
I was nominated for Best Female Rock Singer.
So Rock It Out, let me see if I remember correctly. Rock It Out was this song that you did inside a jail.
Exactly. It was karma.
But it was, at that time, it was a rather... how do I say this, a rather racy song and video for the time that it was made in the early 80s, correct? Mid 80s.
Right, mid 80s. Yeah. Well, I was never, one to not get out there and,
try something new.
Exactly. I mean, it was very controversial, and so was I.
Is that part of who you are?
Yeah. It's a big part of who I am, because it was who I was, and I don't know, there was something developed within me. Maybe it was always there, or maybe it was a situational development that I just got tough and got that attitude of, just being brave.
But I've known you for a long time, and this person, this persona that is so much a part of who you are, so much a part of who you are, has never changed that much. You've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. You've gone through the problems of the world. You've gone through the controversies of the world. Even from the time that you won the Golden Globe, there was controversy that you won the Golden Globe before the movie ever came out.
Picture was released. Wow, you know your stuff.
And there was a lot of people that
And I had a funny
raised...
name, and my husband was rich, and had to do with financing the film.
And you got through all of that.
Yeah.
But you remained the same person.
Well, you have to.
There's a lot
Either that, or you can go on drugs and OD and stuff like that, or become a real bitch, which I was already, so I didn't have to worry about that.
When you look at that part of your career, When you look at what took place back then, and you look at where you are today, and later on in the program, I want to talk about this one part of you that I think has a lot to shape who you are, and that's being a mom. And I want to talk about that. But when you look at that, what was the one thing, that one time, that Pia Zadora said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be who I am. What was it?
It had to have been when I won the Golden Globe, and then all of a sudden all that controversy hit the fan, and I had a choice at that point. Either move forward, be myself, and try to show the world who I really was, that I wasn't who they thought I was, or just go home and, you know, lavish myself in whatever. But I chose to get out there and show myself. It's a hard thing.
Do you ever go back and look at that and say, gee, I wish? Gee, I wish it was different. Gee, I wish it was... Winning a Golden Globe is a great honor. You won for Best New Actress. That's a...
Best newcomer.
Newcomer. It's a pretty big honor. That maybe I felt at the time that you never got a chance to relish. That you never got a chance to really be that person.
Of course, because I was fighting the battle of, wait, is this mine, or why are they trying to take it away from me, and screw you and all that stuff.
So
but that gave me the power and the bravery to forge ahead and just show my stuff.
You've had in your career opportunities to really work with some of the great people. You were initially were on the original cast, if I'm not mistaken, with Zero Mostel,
Fiddler on the
Roof.
Yep.
Right?
Zero Mostel, Herschel Bernardi, Luther Adler, and then Topol.
The greats of that show of all time. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a better Tevye anywhere. Not
Zero.
A better Tevye anywhere.
Zero was the best.
Yep. And you gained from that. Then you met a man who lived in Las Vegas, who I got a chance to meet. He used to call me after my newscast many, many times, was a man by the name of Orson Welles.
Oh, wow.
Another individual that, and I kind of felt as though, even though it maybe wasn't everything that you wanted, you learned so much from the greats of the business. I mean, Zero Mostel was a great. Orson Welles was an amazing individual.
Frank Sinatra.
I mean, you learned from it all.
Of course. And if you don't, you might as well go home and, you know, give it up, because you have to learn from the greats. And I guess I feel like I'm pretty lucky.
When you consider all of that part of your career, did it form the woman that we now see today? Did it form the woman who now, I think this is your fourth marriage, right? Third marriage, to an amazing man, Did it form who that woman is? Did it form that individual who people see today?
You know, there's always a distinction between who you are when you're performing and who you are as a person, as an individual. But there's always an overlap. And I would have to say, yes, it did. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. And again, we go back to your theory of trial and error. You know, this is my third marriage. I finally found the guy that I could push around, and you know, he's the best. Michael, the big cop, the guy that you can't get near. But you and your kids somehow take you along that road, because you learn from them, they learn from you. So whether the marriage goes, you know, on the back burner, the kids go along with you in your life. And
that's the part. We're going to take a break for a couple seconds. When we come back, that's the part I want to talk about. That's the part of this brave woman that I see sitting next to me that probably very few people know. And it's that brave woman who has this amazing heart for her family and her kids. So we're going to take a break for a couple seconds. When we come back, part of Pia that probably very few people know or even think of. We'll be right back. Stay with us. News. In today's world, news has become even more important in our lives. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. For some 40 years, Las Vegas has been my home, and it's been good to me. Now, I want to give back. That's why I started the Now Report, the independent voice newspaper, fair, balanced, unbiased, online and mobile, and it's free. The time has come for an independent voice because news is important.
Hi, I'm Frankie Shinta, downtown's king of entertainment. You're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Shore.
Sometimes in life we have to come to a point where we have to make a decision. Sometimes those decisions are not easy. Sometimes they involve family and can change really your entire course of your life from that point on. Pia Zadora, as part of her life, had to make such a decision. Welcome back to our program.
Thank you.
It was the 60s, the 90s, I should say, mid part of the 90s. And you made a decision that a lot of people at the time said, what are you doing? You made a decision, instead of continuing your career, to instead stop performing and dedicate yourself to the family. Why?
I had two young children at the time, mid-90s, and I had another baby, a special needs child. And I realized that I needed to be there, and it's a very difficult path when you have a child that needs early intervention and all kinds of therapies, and it's something you really need to throw yourself into completely, and that became my career. You know, being a mom, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. And my two older kids profited by it too, because I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years.
But didn't there come a time where you had to question and say, my career is now, I'm stopping it, I'm ending my career. Family is important, but you from a child, from your first times on Broadway, a career had meant so much to you, and now you're saying, stopping it right now.
You have to prioritize in life, and maybe I had had enough of that for a while. Maybe it was the right thing for me on a lot of levels, but when you make a decision, you can't look back. You just go ahead and do what you need to do, and trust that you made the right decision.
Did it change you? Did it make you a better person? It did. That was a very quick answer.
I don't want to judge myself, but it made me a lot less narcissistic, a lot less self-consumed. It was about my kids. And I was the mother. I didn't have to go in front of the camera, do any of that. I could just be behind the scenes. And it was the right decision, and I don't regret it.
You know, there was a time when Garth Brooks made a very similar decision. He didn't want to perform anymore, didn't want to travel anymore. When his children got to a point of his life where he wanted to make a difference in their lives. You had a similar decision that you made. Did you fear, though, that your career would never restart when you determined you wanted it to restart again?
Now, I just put it behind me. I never thought that I would ever resume my career. And when I came here, and my boy is in a place now where he is old enough and has developed enough to be pretty okay, proud of him doing his thing, and my husband is able to, he adopted him, by the way, because his dad passed away in a car accident. Jordan is his name, and Michael adopted Jordan, and now we're like a real family, and my older kids are around a lot of the time, but I never thought I would go back, and now that I'm in a place where I can, it's like, wow, this is just the icing on the cake. It's nothing that I ever planned.
Now you have Pia's Place at Piero's, one of the great restaurants of Las Vegas, but you have your own place there. And I have to tell you, your performances are greater than they've ever been before. You've come to a point of the maturity of your career and your performing and your entertainment that I don't know maybe would have gotten to where it is had it not been for that period of time.
Because I am relaxed, I'm happy within myself, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn. You know, I'm not conscious of what everyone is thinking about me. I get up there and I'm myself, and if I offend people, I don't usually, but I can just, you know, I can be uncensored. And this is my 4th year there, which means I've had a longer relationship with Freddie than I've had with 2 of my husbands. 4 years.
So you've had a chance to work with the greats. You were opening act at one time for Mr. Sinatra. You performed for a year around the country with Sinatra and Don Rickles and other people, and you have a chance to learn from those greats and learn from those people. Now you're your own. Now you're the Pia Zadora that other people now can say, wow, what does that give to Pia Zadora? What does that give to you that maybe you didn't get from the Sinatras of the world?
It gives me that feeling of self-fulfillment and confidence. Confidence. But those people still live inside me on a lot of levels because they made me who I am today. I absorbed them just by being around them and learning from them.
Sinatra, if I'm not mistaken, found you at the Fontainebleau in Miami.
Oh my gosh.
Is that correct?
I was opening for Jackie Mason, and Jackie was a friend of his, and Frank was in the audience. Of course, everyone was like this, and we didn't see him afterwards, and the next day I got a call from his people saying, oh wait, first I got a bouquet of white roses. You knocked him dead from the guy with the blue eyes.
Wait a minute. He said you knocked him dead from the guy with the blue eyes. Not Frank Sinatra, just the guy with the blue eyes.
He always did that. After that, when we toured, he would always do that. The guy with the blue eyes. And then I got a call from his people saying, Mr. Sinatra would like you to tour with him that afternoon. I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. Right.
How long did you think about it?
About 3 seconds.
Yeah, I bet. What did Old Blue Eyes give to you? What did Old Blue Eyes give to you that today, when that keyboard player hits that first note, when you have your little group that begins, what did he give you that is still there today?
A couple things. One is when you get on stage, and like you said, that little guy hits the whatever, you are in a different universe. You're like a horse with blinders. And his work ethic was incredible, but you are totally immersed in what you're doing. The music, the lyrics, the audience, everything. It kind of becomes a universe, a sea, and it's a great feeling because you just step into another world. It's like the Twilight Zone.
You know, I ask a lot of the performers that appear on the show, and I'm always thrilled when they come on the show, and I'm so honored that you're on the show today. I've known you for a long time. And the question I always ask is an interesting question, and that is, especially today, considering what you've gone through, considering a career that started and stopped and now is flourishing all over again, do you perform for you or do you perform for the audience?
Both. I have to love it and enjoy it in order for them to love it and enjoy it.
What's the one thing you love the best about it?
I can't really describe it, but I come to life when I'm, on my little stage there, and when people are reacting. I think it's the reaction, the back and forth with the audience.
There's yet another side to Pia Zadora. There's yet another part of who you are that I kind of feel as though is now emerging, and that's this philanthropic side of you. Because maybe that you have a child that was a special needs child, you kind of feel as though now you've got to give back and got to do the other things to help those who are in a similar situation or need help. It's part of who you are now.
It was a long and tough road getting Jordan to where he needed to be, and it's a whole other experience. It's just not something that most parents are ready to deal with. I wasn't ready to deal with it, so I had to kind of relearn it or learn it, and I want to share that, and I want to help others that have the same issues, because that's my job. That's our job in life, in the world, to help each other when we can.
When you balance it all together, when you look at it all here, mom, wife, performer, how does it balance?
Mom, wife, performer. It's hard for me to separate the performer because I perform around the house, you know, for my son. And I just never kind of shut off. But I mean, I live for especially my son and my other kids. So I think that kind of takes precedence. If I had to choose and say, you can't do that, if you be with your kids, what's the most important thing? Obviously be with my kids, but I'm lucky that I can bring them all together. And Jordan performs at Pia's place. He does a hell of a Donald Trump.
Does he really?
You would love it. We do a skit that's killer. He's got the hair, he's got everything.
Well, I have to tell you, this has been a delightful time to spend with you. And I think that you, even though you've gone through things in your life, I think you're a wonderful example of what true gustiness is, and never give up and keep on going. So I want to thank you for being with us on the program. It's been absolutely delightful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
You know, there's a part for all of you that we all go through tough times. And when you figure out that the one constant in all of that is yourself and the power that you have within you, it can make an amazing difference. And I say to you, that's who Pia Zadora is. That's the power that you see when you hear her. We'll be right back with some closing words in just a moment. Hello, I'm Steve Shore. I've been proud to host the TV show Under the Vegas Sun. We've had mayors and entertainers and some of the true movers and shakers of Las Vegas. Well, we're growing again. We'll now be seen in 209 cities in America through our network, Walk TV, as well as in 6 foreign countries. And in Las Vegas, we'll also be seen 4 times each week on Cox Communications, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m., and now Sundays at 7 p.m. on channels 1096 and 96. I just wanted to say thank you.
Hi, I'm Eamon Springall of Stitched at the Cosmopolitan, and you're watching Under the Vegas Sun with Steve Shore.
It is amazing to me when you see a wonderful actress and singer and performer come back to where she was, come back to the performances and the talent that she has. So nice to hear about her success once again. Pia Zadora, thank you very much for being with us. Well, as my good friend over here, Doc Phineas of Pawn Star fame, plays a little bit of music. I want to say a very special congratulations to another good friend of ours who has really put Las Vegas on the map fashion-wise. His name, David Tupaz. David recently had a magnificent show in New York City during Fashion Week, New York. And he's already been acclaimed to be one of the top fashion designers anywhere. It's great for him, but even greater for Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is becoming a fashion capital of the world. Until the next time, I'm Steve Shore saying please be safe and enjoy life under the Vegas sun.
This has been a presentation of VATV.